What's up everyone? Alex from TS1, and there's a lot to explain. So where do we begin, right? I think I have an idea. I want to start with saying thank you to everyone that's been loyal to this channel and still is subscribed to this channel. It would be an absolute honor for you guys to be still around as I share my ideas and how I want to proceed with this channel. Let me explain how I got this channel, right? So it originally starts with, back in September, I buy a Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera from Houston Crosta over there at Royalty Exotics. And I bought the car, super happy. I think one of the most special things about the car was just the experience I had in Las Vegas, seeing the scenic roads for the first time, driving the car through the canyon. It was just an absolute honor. So it starts with buying a Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera from Houston Crosta at Royalty Exotic Cars. It's a car that I absolutely love, and I will eventually do a review on the car. It's probably one of the most beautiful Lamborghini Gallardos on this planet, but it has a history, and I promise you the history of that car, as far as like Carfax, title, details, whatever, it doesn't represent the car at all, because this car is just beautiful. It's perfect. It's one of one, and I say that by it being a car that was personalized by Houston to be a one of one. It never came from Lamborghini as a gated manual Gallardo Superleggera. They never made them, and Houston, being the car guy that he is, he made this car absolutely perfect. So after I bought the car from Houston, we kept tabs with each other. We talk every now and then about business. We talk about me buying other things from him. And eventually, one day I asked Houston, I was like, hey man, how much would you charge me for a shout out on your channel? And he basically mentioned that he had an even better idea. He said that he would sell me this specific channel. He said that it had originally been his rebuild channel that he acquired from Alex Rebuilds, which was the founder of this channel. He said, you know, he'd offer it to me to buy because he has his main channel, which is Houston Crosta, and I could basically take over and continue the legacy of the channel. And I took on the offer, I bought it, and here we are. So I'm actually very grateful that Houston offered the channel to me. It gave me a head start versus starting off from scratch, which I didn't mind, honestly. There is a channel still out there that I was using to kind of build exposure on YouTube, but I think I want to use that as my behind the scenes channel. My goal is to basically do the rebuilds of all my personal car through here and transfer the drivability, the experiences, and just doing cool stuff with the cars on that behind the scene channels. Obviously you see everybody doing rebuilds, but I'm gonna rebuild them, I'm gonna enjoy them, I'm gonna do crazy things with them, and if something happens, I'm gonna rebuild them again, you know? I'm not gonna keep the cars in the garage. I'm not planning to sell these cars because thankfully, you know, I have my business that we are currently doing very well in. We do collision repairs for customers, insurance. We do, you can actually hear them in the back working right now, but we do collision repair, we do mechanical repair, and we also buy and sell cars. I've been actually rebuilding cars for about 15 years now. It all started with a cheap $1,000 car that I bought, I fixed, and I sold. It was a very good car, and that customer eventually came back, bought another rebuilt car from me, and it's kind of been to where I built a used car dealership through that experience, and then I started fixing the cars as they would come back. I started sharing my passion with everybody and what I can do with cars, like as far as like modifications, maintenance, repairs. I started offering that to the public, and then eventually I started TS1 Auto Works, which a lot of people know in Atlanta, Georgia. So since you guys know a little bit about my history and how I ended up in this position right now with the whole YouTube channel, let's talk about what my plans are in the future. And basically, it starts with this really, really rare Huracan Performante. And when I say rare, supposedly this is the only Verde Artemis Performante in the United States. There's only one other one, and that's going to be somewhere in Europe. This color is very special. It's actually a color that they introduced on the 40th anniversary Lamborghini Murcielago. And to have the opportunity to own this car is honestly like, it's above this world, you know? Like, I wouldn't know that one day I would own this car. And it just so happened that I found this car in the auction and somebody had rear-ended it really bad. And I didn't want it to die. I feel like somebody else would have looked at how big this damage was and just let the car go to a parts yard. But I'm not going to let that happen because of how special the car is. It's the only one in the States, you know, and it's a very special color to me because growing up in Atlanta, when I used to go to car meets with my Infiniti G35, I met this guy. His name is Russell, and he has an Acura NSX that he painted this color, right? This is the very first time that I ever seen this color in person, and it was my absolute favorite color on this planet. And back then, honestly, I never even knew that I would be able to buy a Lamborghini. You know, I'm just a kid that started from nothing, you know, and just worked here and there and just saved up money and tried to build something. It was more so like my dream car at that time, really, it was an E92 M3. I didn't see myself even stepping foot in an exotic. You know, I didn't even have a chance to like sit in an exotic until I bought my own. You know, I never test drove one. I never drove somebody else's. It was always my own exotic before I even got the chance to experience an exotic. Since we know this is the first car of this channel, right? This beautiful Huracan Performante that I have some insane plans for. It's going to be 2,000 horsepower. I got the motor at T1 Race getting built right now. I have the transmission at Shep Trans, getting all the billet gear sets, all the high-end Datsun parts, and it's going to be a bulletproof car making 2,000 horsepower. And I'm going to try to do it to where it's OEM plus, and the car is going to be able to make hits and not separate itself, hopefully, right? Because I don't know if you've seen the back, but I'm cutting it in half to fix it. All right, enough talking, and let me explain what I need to do on this car to get it roadworthy. And let me get this super expensive stool out your way. All right, so let's start with, where's the emblem, right? I mean, this is going to be the hardest part about the rebuild, honestly, because Lamborghini charges way too much for an emblem. I'll figure that out, hopefully, one day. So let me explain something about this side of the car. This is the most perfect side of the car. This is the only side that doesn't need any attention, right? Other than like PPF that I peeled off because over there's, you know, needs repair. This is a quarter panel that actually took me, this quarter panel took me almost 8 months to get. And that's basically because nobody in the United States would sell a used quarter panel, like a used left quarter panel for a Lamborghini Huracan. Like, nobody had it. Going to the back is where most of the damage is. And so far, I kind of just put some parts together to show, like, to kind of make the car look complete. But it's missing this. I had to cut the frame out because it was pretty bad. Like the whole frame of the car was mingled, and like so many things were damaged. It's gonna be like this car will actually cost me double of what I could have spent to just buy a clean title Performante, but I don't care because like I'm saving a big car, like a really special car, you know? This quarter panel was also damaged. I guess it got hit over there and it smacked something on the side right here. So I had to replace this quarter panel too. And honestly, guys, the biggest and hardest like part about rebuilding an exotic is finding parts. For example, this frame. Lamborghini will not sell you a frame if you're not an authorized repair facility, you know? And obviously, I know I can do the work. I know I can replace this frame. I've been doing it for 15 years. But, you know, they're not going to just say, here, we'll sell you a rear frame section. So I had to find a used one. And tell me how many total loss Huracans are there that have a good rear frame. There's literally none. Like, I had to go get this in California. I got this in Europe. The other quarter panel I had to find in, I think it was Dubai. Like crazy. I had to start scavenging around the world to get parts for this car, right? But the good thing is, compared to everybody else that rebuilds cars, I'm super picky and I'm super OCD, right? I'm actually putting all original Performante parts back on this car. For example, I spent $30,000 on the wing, right? And then rear bumper, $12,000 when Alibaba has both of them for $3K, but I don't care because I want this car to be as original as possible. And I want this car to just stand out. I want it to be what it was before I got into this accident, you know, because at one point in time, somebody paid close to $500,000 for this car and they special ordered this color. So I need to make sure that this car still holds up to that. So again, thank you everyone that has been around since the day this channel started. And it would be an absolute pleasure for you guys to still be around as I continue this legacy and show you guys my own personal rebuilds. And if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm interested in knowing what you guys actually think, you know?